Right. So I've done some mental stuff in my time, but this takes the biscuit. We're talking about spending 35 days in a car. Yeah, you heard that right. 35 bloody days. Can you imagine being stuck in your motor for over a month? It's absolutely bonkers. Now let's get cracking with the nitty-gritty of this insane record. Some nutter actually spent 35 days living in their car. It's like being grounded, but instead of your bedroom, you're stuck in a tin can on wheels. Right, so what about the car itself? I mean, if you're gonna live in something for over a month, it better be comfy, yeah? Was it some posh motor with all the bells and whistles, or just your average run-of-the-mill car? Either way, I reckon it must have felt like a prison cell after a while. Bloody hell. Just thinking about it makes me want to stretch my legs. Now let's talk about the living conditions. I mean, how do you even manage the basics in a car for 35 days? Where do you sleep? How do you eat? And don't even get me started on going to the loo. It must have been like camping, but without the fun bits. I bet the car started to smell like a teenager's bedroom after a week. Not exactly a bed of roses, if you know what I mean. And the challenges, oh boy. Can you imagine trying to keep yourself entertained for that long in such a tiny space? It's enough to drive anyone round the bend. No pun intended. You'd probably start talking to the steering wheel after a while. So, what actually happens during 35 days of car confinement? Did our brave or barmy record setter have any visitors? Maybe a cheeky drive-through run? I reckon after a month, even a pigeon landing on the bonnet would count as excitement. You'd probably start to feel like Tom Hanks in Cast Away, except instead of Wilson the volleyball, you'd be talking to your air freshener. But jokes aside, there must be some proper lessons learned from an experience like this. I mean, talk about pushing your limits. You'd certainly learn a thing or two about patience and mental fortitude. And maybe, just maybe, you'd come out of it with a newfound appreciation for the simple things in life, like being able to stand up straight or use a proper loo. It's mental, but also kind of inspiring in a weird way, don't you think? Crikey, what a journey that was. 35 days in a car, a record that's as impressive as it is bonkers. It just goes to show that humans can adapt to almost anything, even if it means turning your car into a temporary home. Next time you're stuck in traffic and feeling a bit antsy, just remember, it could be worse. You could be on day 34 of a 35-day car sit-in. Right, I'm off to stretch my legs and enjoy the great outdoors. Until next time, keep your motors running and your adventures wild.